Namaskar, I am Ansuman, a PhD in physics at Carnegie Mellon University. And in this video, I'll explain the entire US PhD application process. So there are no defined set of rules which you need to follow, and boom, you get your PhD offer. But there are certain steps which you need to follow so that you complete your application and give the admission committee a fair chance to evaluate you as a future doctoral candidate. So I have divided the US PhD application into 10 steps, and I'll be talking about them in details. So the first step is finding the university and admission cycle. In US there are two semesters, the spring semester and fall semester, in which PhD applicants get admitted. So you need to decide whether you want to apply in the fall semester or you want to apply in the spring semester. Then you need to fix the universities where you want to apply. To get information about university, you can talk to your professor with whom you are working during undergrad or masters, because they are the best people to tell you about universities since they are already in academia. Or you can get information about universities from QS rankings or Times Higher Education ranking. These two are the widely used ranking for US universities. And third is you can get information about US universities from your alumni. Like, just see where your university or your college alumni are working. If they are working as a PhD in US, then you can contact them and get information about that particular universities. Now, once you have decided that these are the universities you are targeting, you need to find your potential research advisor. Finding a potential research advisor, that's the step number 2. How to find a research advisor? So the best way to find a research advisor is going to the faculty webpage of each university. Let's say you want to apply to Harvard. So you can type in Google Harvard physics faculty. So it will direct you to the Harvard University physics faculty webpage. In the faculty webpage, you will get information about every faculty. Like, you can get information about their research interests. So you need to find, or you need to shortlist those faculties with whom your research interest coincides. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, in masters, I was working with organic semiconductors and studying their material properties. So I wanted to do a PhD related to device physics, like making devices using semiconductors. I shortlisted faculties who are working with semiconductors or device physics. Find at least 3 faculties in each university. And sometimes what happens is like there can be faculty in a different department. Like, you have done your undergrad or masters in physics, but the field in which you are interested in pursuing a PhD, there can be a faculty from that field in material science or electrical engineering department. So do search for the allied departments. I personally applied to physics and engineering programs. So that's how you can find a potential research advisor. Now, second thing you can do is, like, look for the collaborators of your own professor, like of your own supervisor with whom you are working in masters or undergrad, because your professor will collaborate with those people who are in the same field. So you can also shortlist those names and apply to them for your PhD. Third step is application requirements. To know about the application requirement, you can simply go to the graduate admissions portal of each university. In the graduate admission page, you will get all the relevant information for your PhD application. You will get information about the application deadline, the application fees, what are the relevant documents you need to upload. So all the information are listed in the graduate admissions page or prospective graduate students page. Step number 4 is relevant test scores required for your PhD application. So the most common test score required for PhD application is English proficiency test scores, that is IELTS or TOEFL. These two are mostly accepted by all the universities. Apart from this, there is Duolingo test, which is quite new compared to IELTS and TOEFL. And the universities which I applied, GRE was not mandatory. So check for that whether the universities you are targeting, GRE is mandatory or not. So if GRE is mandatory, then do check whether they need subject GRE or they're asking for general GRE test scores. So give your exam accordingly. And I want to add one more thing, that English test score is not an mandatory requirement. Some of the universities have this criteria that if you have done your undergrad in English, like the medium of instructions during your undergrad is in English, then like you can get that certificate from Dean Academics or registrar, and your English proficiency test score would be waived up. So I have also applied to some of the universities where this English test score was waived for me, and then to some universities where I uploaded my IELTS score. So do check for these specific things in the graduate admissions page. Now, step number 5. So, step number 5 is look for the essays and documents that are required for the application. When I say essay, it means a statement of purpose and a personal statement. So, a statement of purpose is a document where you describe your academic experience, your research background. Like that's how, through a statement of purpose or SOP, you try to convince the admission committee that you are a good candidate for your PhD. Remember, you are not there in front of the admission committee. So at that time, your statement of purpose will speak for you. And in the personal statement, you show that how your personal experiences shaped you as a researcher. Like what are the obstacles you overcame, you like whether you are a first gen student or you had some financial burden and you show resilience. So those are the things you need to explain in the personal statement, and how those experiences shaped you as a researcher. And again, the admission committee will gauge you based on these essays whether you are a good fit for a doctoral program offered by their university or not. And apart from that, you need your CV. Like this is like a mandatory requirement that you need to upload your CV with all the relevant educational background, your research skill, internships, experimental skills, technical skills, all those things you should include in your CV and upload it. And apart from it, the most important thing is your academic transcript. Now, so the step number 6, that is letter of recommendation. This is the most vital part of your PhD application. So letter of recommendation can be given by professors, or like if you have worked in some industry or like in an R&D sector, so your employer can also give you letter of recommendation. So in letter of recommendation, the person who writes LOR, they write about your research experiences, your relevant skills, that I know this person and he has done this task, and based on this, he's really a good candidate for PhD. So in a way, they are also trying to convince the admission committee that you are a good candidate for the doctoral program. So you should take letter of recommendation from those people with whom you are worked with. Like they can be your advisor from internship or your advisor during your master's or undergrad. In US PhD application, you need a minimum of 3 letter of recommendation. So this is the most important thing. You should have at least 3 professors who are writing letter of recommendation for you. If you don't submit 3 letter of recommendations, then your application would be considered invalid. Step number 7 is filling the online application form and paying the application fees. So in the graduate admission page, you will get the link to the online application form. You need to fill the basic details like your educational background, your address, your name, preferred name, and yeah, you need to give your passport number, and you need to upload all these essays. So these things you need to complete in the online application form. And once you have finished the online application form, you need to pay the application fees. Remember, if you don't pay the application fees, again your application will be considered invalid. So you need to pay the application fees in order to make your application complete. Step number 8, that is fee waiver. So the application fees of US PhD application is really high. Like sometimes it goes to $150 or $160 if you're applying to University of California or University of Texas. So that's quite a big amount if you are from India. So what you can do is you can write emails to the admission committee or to the academic program coordinator that you don't belong to a financially sound background, and you need to request them to give you an application fee waiver, and you need to describe like why you need an application fee waiver. They cannot give application fee waiver to everyone, so you really need to convince them. And some university like have this thing, like they have a separate form that you need to fill to get the fee waiver. Personally, I have received fee waiver from Princeton and University of Michigan by writing emails to them. So write emails to them so that you can save some like $100 to $200. Now step number 9, that is cold mails. Now cold mails really help to know whether a professor is interested in you or not. So what you need to do is like this cold mail is like separate part, like application is separate, but this thing should run in parallel. Like let's say you are applying to Stanford and you found 5 professors with whom your research interest coincides. So what you need to do is you write an email to them. I'm really interested in working with you, whether you would be like interested to have a meeting with me or have a discussion with me. Just write email, or whether you have a position available. So if that professor, like most of the time professor won't reply, so don't get disheartened. But if those professor reply you back that okay, see, it seems that you have a good profile, apply to like our PhD program, I'll review application there. Because in US, single professor doesn't give you a PhD position. The doctoral candidates are selected based on a admission committee. So like if he's asking you to apply to their university, so that means you can get the assurance that okay, he or she has the PhD position, or like at least that's a positive reply that okay, someone might review my application. And it's better than being blank that okay, I'm applying to these universities and I don't even know that whether like they will be like these professors would be considering me or not. You should write cold emails maybe 1 month or 2 months before you actually start filling the application form and start applying to the universities, because that's how you can be sure like okay, these are the universities I definitely need to apply. So once you pay the application fee and submit the application, your job is done. So step number 10 is wait for the updates from the university regarding your application. Wait for the day, wait for your D-Day. So you have now submitted your application, so just sit back and hope for the best results, like hope for positive thing. Hope is a beautiful thing. So because based on the documents, based on the essays you submitted, the admission committee will decide whether you are a good fit for their doctoral program or not, and they will send you emails related to your admissions. So if they send you that oh, we are extending you an PhD offer, then boom, you are done. Your US PhD dream is a reality now. Enjoy and talk to your parents, talk to your friends, share it with everyone. Like I still remember my that day that when I received the positive reply that I got selected into like Carnegie Mellon. That was my first university, and after that I got another offer. But I didn't sleep that night. I just talked to my mother, talked to my grandmother, my friends. Like I just shared that news with everyone, and everyone was happy, and I was really excited. So just wait for your D-Day and best of luck. I'll be uploading more videos related to PhDs application process, like what are the mistakes people do, like what are the things you need to do once you get your offer. So do subscribe the channel to stay updated and get more information related to it. And if you have any question, do ask me in the comment section. I'll try to give you the best answer based on my knowledge. धन्यवाद. जय श्री कृष्ण.